What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 746 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's your boy KB coming at you from Underground Studios, and joining me, as he does for every single Thursday episode to get your weekend started off in the right direction, it's the man, the myth, the legend, HK Harrison Krementz himself.
What's good?
How we living, HK?
We doing great. Pacers are 1 win away from the NBA Finals. Looks like we're going to get a rematch of the Stanley Cup from last year, which I'm looking forward to. I want to see the Oilers get some revenge. And the Phillies are playing some damn good baseball right now.
That they are. We have a fun show. And on top of that, if you're watching on YouTube, which you should be, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia, it's intern season here at Underground, and we are welcoming on our content intern for the summer, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jacob Novick-Maxwell.
How's it going?
So for the people, Jacob's going to be joining us on pods. He's going to be doing content with us. Obviously, we've had intern Ethan on Get in the Hole, doing a lot of production, and he's on the shows with us. Jacob's going to be doing a lot of content with us. He's going to be on episodes, giving his thoughts and conjuring ideas and everything, and you're going to see him in a bunch of social content as well. We're stoked to have you. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a while since we've had a three-man rotation on this show, but it's going to be a ton of fun. So we will drop all of Jacob's socials for you to follow him and stay up to date throughout the intern season here. And we're going to do our first intern interview. Harrison and I are going to go digging deep, ready to get to the nitty gritty. Plus, we have some voicemails from some awesome listeners to greet and welcome Jacob to Underground. So we'll get into that later in the show. But obviously, you guys know we're going to talk some Fightin' Phils, the best goddamn team in Major League Baseball. They got rained out today, so we'll talk about the doubleheader going on Thursday. We'll talk about Bryce Harper getting plunked and just the insane meteoric rise he's had in the Platinum Plunk standings for our Philadelphia Phillies, and get into the whole dichotomy of should the Phillies retaliate? What should they do? Spencer Strider, he's not a complete sociopath, all of that good stuff. We're going to dive into the Union as well because they are in action as we're recording this episode, so we'll keep up to date with their game against Toronto. And guys, guess what? This weekend, the Premier Lacrosse League is back. Now, granted, the Waterdogs have a week 1 bye, so we get to sit back, relax, kind of take in every other team. But Harrison and I, we're going to get Jacob into the PLL. We're going to get Jacob to become a Philadelphia Waterdogs fan. And we're going to give some season predictions. We did a full-blown bold prediction segment on Outside the Box on the most recent episode. So if you want a full deep dive, DJ and I went into every single team, our bold predictions for those teams. If you want that much in-depth analysis for each team in the PLL, definitely go check that episode out wherever you get your podcast or here on YouTube. But before we get into the show, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform, so keep up to date on the socials at Underground PHI. Subscribe to the pod. I'm going to say it one more time for good measure. Subscribe to the pod, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave us a 5-star review. It goes a long way for helping this show continue to grow. Plus, it helps all of our shows on the network continue to grow and get into, the old algorithm, if you will, for the people so they know where to find our podcasts. And we're going to keep saying it, too, because it's brand new. If you're an Apple Podcast user, check out the channels tab on Apple Podcasts, and you can favorite the Underground Sports Philadelphia channel, and then you can stay up to date with every show that comes out on our network and kind of fully immerse yourself in the Underground universe. So check out the channels tab on Apple Podcasts if you want to get fully immersed into all of our shows here on the network. And if you want to watch the show, which you should, it's youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. That's where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It is all on our YouTube channel. Jacob's going to be having videos coming out on the YouTube in shorts form, in video form, so you don't want to miss out on that either. Leave a like on this video, drop a comment in the comment section, and click that bell icon so you know whenever new videos go live. We're 39 subscribers away from our next 100 subscriber milestone, so keep on subscribing, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. And this show, guys, as you all know so well, unless you're new to the show, but this show is proudly presented by the City of Vineland, and the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this here podcast.
At the Vineland Municipal Utilities, we understand that when our business community thrives, we all win. As a not-for-profit utility, our reliability, lower cost of operations, and flexibility in meeting customer needs make doing business in Vineland beneficial to your bottom line. What's more, we are able to do so while maintaining our commitment to environmental stewardship. We look forward to helping you achieve your business goals now and for years to come. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the Fightin' Phils are still the best goddamn team in baseball. They took game one against the Atlanta Braves on Tuesday night. Bryce Harper gets hit by his third pitch in about 4 days, leaves the game, X-rays negative. Dave Dombrowski went on, I think it was John Heyman's podcast, some MLB Insider podcast, and said that Bryce Harper would not have been in the lineup today if the Phillies had played game two against the Braves. Obviously, today's game, as we record this on Wednesday, was rained out, so there will be a day-night doubleheader. First game at 1:05. Christopher Sanchez will now pitch that first game, and then the nightcap will be Zach Wheeler versus Chris Sale. Get your popcorn ready. But the Phillies win 2-0 against the Braves. The Braves had gone 43 straight games without getting shut out until the Phillies blanked them on Tuesday night. The environment was electric from everything I was taking in, watching it at home on TV. It felt like a playoff game. And then Spencer Strider, who just can't handle the bright lights and the even brighter enhanced lights now of Citizens Bank Park and the pressure and the crowd noise, has a pitch slip away from him, hits Bryce Harper on his surgically repaired elbow. Third pitch that Bryce Harper's been hit by in the last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken, and in the last 5 days, he's been hit by 3 pitches. He literally went from not being hit by a pitch this entire season to now he's tied for second on the Phillies for the amount of pitches he's been hit by, only behind Kyle Schwarber. Here's my takeaway on all of this. I think Spencer Strider is a good dude, first and foremost. I like Spencer Strider, the player. I hate that he plays for the Atlanta Braves, and I think that's a consensus feeling on this show. I think that's a consensus feeling for about 92% of Philadelphia Phillies fans, is that if Spencer Strider was wearing the red pinstripes, we'd be bowing down at his feet and loving the guy. And don't worry, in about like 6 years, when he gets out of his money laundering Atlanta Braves contract, he'll be pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies in no time. I don't think I genuinely believe Strider when he says he didn't intentionally throw at Bryce. I think it's one of those things that we as Phillies fans have grown accustomed to. Our pitchers just don't throw in. Like Caleb Cotham does not teach our pitchers to throw in. Our minor league system does not teach our pitchers to throw inside at guys. That's something that you learn coming up through the minors, that you learn when you're in the majors from your pitching coach. It's just something we're not accustomed to seeing because we don't do it because guess what? We got the best goddamn rotation in baseball. I don't think Strider intentionally threw at him. I do think the pitch got away from him and it just didn't break. And optically, it's going to look horrific because one, it's the Braves and Spencer Strider. You're at Citizens Bank Park. You hit Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper's been getting hit by an egregious amount of pitches in a short, condensed amount of time. It hits Bryce's surgically repaired elbow. Do I hate it? Absolutely. Do I believe Strider in saying that his quote was, "I'm not a complete sociopath. I have empathy." Like he was happy to see Bryce wasn't seriously injured. I believe him there. The thing that I take away from everything that's gone on now, and of course we have a rain out, so now it's going to just be stretched out even further because that's what we love to do in the traditional media, and that's why you should be subscribed to this show and stop listening to the talking heads that don't know Tom from Dick and Harry. We don't need to retaliate. I'm in the business of I want the Phillies to win baseball games. Yeah. I want them to be the best team in baseball. I want people to fear playing the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't need Ranger Suarez in what was primarily a 1-0 game up until that insurance run comes through, throwing at a guy, and then that leading to the Braves going and scoring, and we lose that baseball game. I don't need Christopher Sanchez or Zach Wheeler to throw at Ronald Acuna Jr. to quote-unquote send a message, and then those guys potentially face a suspension because they retaliated. Because guess what? For a tale as old as time, who gets caught and who gets punished, it's the person who fights back. And I don't need our stars fighting back because an accident happened. Now, I did see a very hilarious take on the tweet machine that said, if we want to retaliate, it should be one of the first games that we play against the Braves when Jose Alvarado is back, and you let Alvarado throw at him, because if he gets suspended, he's already out for the postseason, and you just deal with it that way. It's pretty funny. But in this series, I Ruben Amaro Jr., who I really do like. I've met him a multitude of times. Genuinely great dude. Ricky Bottalico, all of these older former players turned analysts are now talking about how the Phillies need to get even. They need to go and hit somebody. It's not 1984 anymore. We don't need to get even. We're the better team. We're already leaps and bounds ahead of the Braves because they're 9 games back of us now in the division. That's how you get even. You're 9.5 up on the Braves. You beat them. Bryce Harper avoided serious injury, thankfully. You beat them there. The way you beat the Braves is being how's the weather down there? We're 9.5 games up on you. You're 9-19 on the road. Step your game up. Sorry about it.
The best way to take revenge is to just continue whooping their ass. They're a team that we should focus on beating, and that's the best way to do it. They had our number for so many years. It just feels good whipping them up and down the field, making them work for any type of runs, which they didn't score at all yesterday, and just putting a beat down on them. Because for a long time, I hated them more than the Mets. It's flip-flop now. I hate the Mets more again. But they're just such an annoying team that the best way to deal with them isn't to plunk them. There's no need for that. Just play the baseball that we know that the Phillies can play. Let Bryce get healthy again. And then once he's healthy for the next series, because I don't think we're going to be seeing him again for the next week and a half, maybe.
I think we'll see him this weekend.
Depending
on, I think having the day off today really helped. Or he didn't have to rush back because we know Bryce. He's somebody who is just the ultimate competitor and wants to be out there. So I think him having the day off completely today was a blessing in disguise. Yeah. And we'll see if he ends up playing in the day game tomorrow. I think we will see him probably Saturday. You try to see if he's ready to go against the Brewers. and at the latest Sunday, especially if it's not anything crazy serious. Like you see how the bruise kind of heals.
It's
But
just a confusion. Like
yeah, like there was the X-rays were negative, no breaks, nothing like that, which is huge, especially since it's a surgically repaired elbow. But I think we'll see him sooner rather than later, especially just knowing the competitor Bryce is. And it's one of those things that like Braves fucking stink this year. They're not good. Like
not good.
that's how you get revenge. Is like you flaunt that like, hey, we're gonna take a series from you. We're potentially going to sweep you, and at the end of the day, like step your game up. Maybe we'll see you in the playoffs. If not, you guys stink.
They stink on ice.
At the end of the day, they have never beat us in the postseason once, and it's never gonna fucking change.
It's so nice that like also like going into this series, I was thinking about this total like mini side quest here. Doesn't it feel like this is the first time like regular season wise Zach Wheeler's gonna be pitching against the Braves at Citizens Bank Park?
Yeah.
It always feels like when we have the Braves on the schedule, it's at Atlanta when Wheeler's on the mound.
Yeah.
He never gets to pitch at home against them.
Now the crowd's going to be fully behind him,
Yeah.
and he's just going to be ready to put them in the dirt. And he doesn't need to hit them. He really doesn't. I will say though, yesterday right after Bryce got plunked, and Ranger had a 20 pitch first inning, 22 pitch first inning,
something like that.
I was like, you know what? It's going to be a bullpen game anyway. I was wrong, but like I thought it was going to be a bullpen game. Why not go out and plunk them just to get some? But as you said, it's always the person who retaliates. It's never the person who actually committed the crime. So,
and if our pitcher gets ejected for throwing at them, that means Rob is suspended for 1 or 2 games. So
it's not worth it. It's not
because
worth it.
Tomorrow, today, as you guys are all listening to this, Thursday 1:05, whoever home plate umpire is, they're gonna go and talk to Skin Tag Snitker, who looks like a big toe, and they're gonna go talk to Thompson, and they're gonna be like, they're gonna give warnings right off the bat. I can already see it. So there's no use in going into a game where you're gonna have to play 2 games in one day, and then potentially cost yourself a player, because you want to get even, like it's 1985, like that old school style of baseball. Like I feel like too, like the players today, they are not inclined to do that. Like I know I can't stand them, but I do like what Whit Merrifield said last year after guys were getting hit, and like he got hit at one point last year and said, if that's a inch higher, like I'm getting hit in the head, like we can't have guys like throwing pitches that are 100 miles an hour at guys because it's an injury risk, and that's exactly what it is. And like at the end of the day, baseball is better when the best players are on the field. I don't need a guy like Ronald Acuna Jr., who I hate that he plays for the Braves, but he's a damn good baseball player who just got back from injury. I don't need a Phillies pitcher going out and plunking him and injuring him, and then he's out again. And then on top of that, 29 other baseball teams are like, oh, the Phillies are the fucking scumbags of the earth because they injured Ronald Acuna Jr. I don't need that. I'm dialed in on winning baseball games and this team being the best goddamn team in baseball, and that's how you get even at the end of the day. You showcase, hey, we're playing a great brand of baseball right now. You got to get on our level. That's how you get even. Like I don't need the back and forth Tom and Jerry antics of going back and plunking somebody just for the sake of doing it.
Exactly. And as you said, we don't want to be the team that injures Acuna, because I hope he stays healthy the rest of his career. He's too fun to watch. And as he said, it's a damn shame he's on the Braves. If he was on any other team, he might be one of my favorite non-Phillies in baseball. But it is what it is. It's not worth it at the end of the day. And let's just keep playing top of the MLB baseball.
Exactly. And I mean, last night, we'll get into last night's game a little bit outside of the hit by pitch. But before we do, want to talk to you guys about our friends over at 47. Guys, they are the go-to headwear in the game. My shirt right now is 47. It's a Citizens Bank Park exclusive. I got the hat on my head. The hitch style is my go-to. We love 47 here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. They've got unique styles dropping what feels like literally every single week. I just got a text notification that they dropped their Navy collection once again, so you can get your favorite teams in the navy blue colorway. They just dropped, Harrison, funnily enough, whole collection for the national champion Cornell lacrosse team.
Nice.
Stuff is gas. You can
Got
check out
anything for
all
the
of their styles. What's that?
Anything for the Hoosiers?
They've got a whole NCAA collection, which is just incredible. Like over 200 plus teams. They've got everything for MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, minor league baseball. I say it all the time. I'm not the biggest sit down and watch NASCAR fan, but NASCAR merchandise is heat, and 47's got the best in the biz. Use our link in the description. Join the 47 family. Create an account. You get free shipping on all orders when you use our link and join the 47 family. Again, use the link in the description. Sign up, join the 47 family, and get free shipping on all orders with our friends at 47. And we thank 47 for being a proud partner of the podcast. I got to do my 47 tip of the cap, Harrison, to Ranger Suarez.
Oh, yeah.
Ranger Suarez, what an absolute demon on the mound last night. Like you said, like started off a little shaky, had moments in the game where he had bases loaded, gets out of it. Moments in the game where he had runners in scoring position, gets out of it scot-free, gives up 4 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts in 6 innings. Outside of that first game back where he kind of, was shaking the rust off, Ranger Suarez has been like what he was in the first half last year. It's been unbelievable. And it's like one of those things that is so unprecedented where like Rangers in a contract year and he's pitching this way, and it's one of those things that like you want to pay him, but you also have guys like Andrew Painter, and you saw what Mick Abel did almost 2 weeks ago now. Like the Ranger situation, I'm so glad I'm not Dave Dombrowski, that I don't have to deal with like what that decision is going to be like. But as long as Ranger Suarez is pitching this well, if the Phillies want to keep Ranger Suarez, I'd say by the All-Star break, they got to sit him and Scott Boras down and come to a conclusion on a contract, because he's pitching the lights out off the mound right now. And if he keeps pitching this way, like it's not going to surprise me when the Phillies have 3, maybe 4 of their starters as All-Stars once again. Like I said it on Monday's episode, we're not talking nearly enough about how the Phillies truly have 2 guys that are legitimate NL Cy Young candidates in Wheeler and Luzardo. And depending on if Ranger gets the innings, if he keeps pitching this way, he's going to be right in that mix too. He's been unbelievable. And it truly feels like 2022, 2023 Ranger Suarez with the added skill sets that we saw in the first half of 2024. Like he's just cool, calm, and collected on the mound again, looks very comfortable. And if you're getting that every 5th day, coupled with what you get from Zach Wheeler, what we've been getting from Jesus Luzardo, what we've been getting from Christopher Sanchez, and what we've been getting from Taijuan Walker, Mick Abel, what we'll get from Andrew Painter, what we'll get from a healthy Aaron Nola, like I can't emphasize it enough. This team is built on pitching. I said it in the preseason. I said it in spring training. I said it in January when they traded for Luzardo that this team was going to have the best rotation in baseball. And nobody wanted to say anything about it. Everyone was like, oh, they didn't do enough in the lineup. Max Kepler's not an upgrade. Guess what? Max Kepler's been playing a pretty goddamn good left field, and he's hitting the cover off the ball when he needs to. And we're winning because we have good starting pitching. Yes, the bullpen is still a question with Alvarado being suspended, but guess what? When you got guys going 6, 7, 8 innings every single time out, you don't got to worry about the bullpen all that much every single game.
Especially with Jordan Romano finally figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I'm fully convinced that Zach Wheeler was onto something. That mound in Sacramento was just absolute shite.
Yep.
Because
the fact that we won, it was a 3-game series, wasn't it?
Yeah. We took 2 out of 3.
The fact that we took 2 out of 3 with the mound being that bad and the comebacks we had to pull off, I'll take it.
Like after seeing Romano pitch last night against the Braves versus how he pitched that one game in Sacramento where it was like I thought he was going through like an exorcism because he was talking to himself, biting his glove, like looking at his hands. I was like, is he okay? I'm fully convinced that that mound was just so terrible.
I want to know what happened there, because how do you have, like, I get it's a minor league stadium. I get that. But, like, how do you still get a mound that bad? You got to have MLB groundskeepers taking care of it.
Like a mound that bad, and, like, it's just so, like, there was an article I think somebody from The Athletic put out. They went to a game in Sacramento, and it's like, this is what the A's are doing. This is not what they should be doing. And it's just like, that stadium stinks. Like, the fact that their manager had to walk down the left field line after he got ejected was just like, one, that was pure comedy. But also, like, the fact that Kyle Schwarber had to go out through the left center field gates to go to the batting cage, like, you're putting a Major League Baseball team in those conditions. Like, it's embarrassing. But Romano looks great. Strahm gave up the walk but got out of it. I think that's one thing, he's openly talked about. He's got to cut down on the walks. On top of Romano, Orion Kerkering looks like he's back.
He's figured it out. It's taken some time, but the kid's a dog, and that's exactly. He's still a kid. He's still figuring out how to pitch at the MLB level, and when he's on, he's up there with some of the best relievers in the league.
People forget he's 24.
Yeah, man's younger than me.
Like, he was so fast-tracked to the majors that we forget that he's 24 years old.
Yep, it's crazy.
Like, when is his actual... Like, he's so young, he barely remembers 9/11.
If at all.
He barely remembers.
If at all.
He was born April 4th, 2001.
So, yeah, he was not even 6 months old.
It's crazy. That's how young he is. That is how
Insane.
we, as 90s babies, Harrison, contextualize 9/11. Is how, if athletes can truly remember, or if they have no cognizance. Like, that's my first childhood memory. Like,
that
I
is
was
when
6.
I gained consciousness too. That, like, I don't remember it that well, but like that was I remember bits and pieces from that day, and that's like my earliest memories.
Like, that is my first. That's how I know I'm a like, our generation should just be called the trauma children, because my first childhood memory is 9/11. I went through the 2008 housing crisis and like mini Great Depression, like the mid depression. I dealt with a global pandemic, and I'm in crippling debt, and I'm barely 30 years old. We should just be the trauma generation. We shouldn't even be like millennials. We should just be trauma children.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But Orion Kerkering, I think him figuring things out is a huge part of this bullpen puzzle right now, and where this team is going to go forward and how they assess the bullpen. If he is on, that's a massive come up, because he was struggling for quite a while, and I was like getting concerned. I'm still in the camp that he needs to develop a third pitch if he wants to like fully be a dominant reliever at the back end of the bullpen. But the bullpen, they're doing their job for the most part right now, and I think that's huge, and it gives you a little bit of leeway. And Harrison, we talked a little bit about like those checkpoints. Like, baseball season's a marathon. Memorial Day was checkpoint number 1. That was like your first mile marker, and the Phillies passed it with flying colors. They were the best team in baseball at Memorial Day. Still are. Now it's like, okay, we're getting ready for June. Schwarber Fest is about to start. How we doing? Let's start hitting some Schwarber bombs again. But now it's like, all right, let's start scouting potential trade options for this bullpen, because that's going to be the biggest thing. And I talked about it on Monday too. There's like this, I think I would call it a fan theory, that the Phillies could trade for Rhys Hoskins at the deadline. While I would love it, I think, one, Rhys is going to cost you so much in a trade package because he's having a great season. 2, where does he really fit to make the trade that is going to cost you a lot worth it? And 3, you need bullpen pitchers far more, where you can go out and get somebody that does what Rhys does, may not be at Rhys's talent level, but do what he does to come off the bench and be a productive piece. But you need to find out kind of now and start navigating the bullpen situation, where teams are. Obviously, I'm laser focused in on the Baltimore Orioles right now. I'm just like, what can we pillage from that disaster of a franchise?
There's a sinking ship right there.
They're so bad, and it's so sad that that's the case, because the fact that they have just fumbled that core is crazy. But I'm looking at them. I'm looking at, potentially the Cleveland Guardians if they falter a little bit. Like, they're 6 games back of the Tigers already. Are they going to make the playoffs? Like, they're 30-25. They have a negative run differential. If Emmanuel Clase is available, I'm picking up the phone and seeing what it's going to take. I'm looking at a team that the Phillies have a history of doing business with in the Los Angeles Angels. Kenley Jansen is out there. I'm looking at the Oakland A's. I'm not necessarily looking at the price tag of Mason Miller, because I don't think that's exactly what the Phillies need. But I'm looking at what they have in that bullpen. I'm looking at the Texas Rangers. They stink on ice. There's a bunch of teams in the American League, Tampa Bay, Toronto, maybe Boston. There's a lot of teams in the American League that June is going to be such a huge month for them that if they falter in June, you got to pick up the phone and be like, yo, what can we do to get X player here, X player there? And you look at the National League, like, you've got the Marlins, you've got the Nationals, you've got the Pirates, you've got the Rockies. The Diamondbacks are 2 games under 500 right now, which is crazy because their rotation was flaunted as potentially going to be one of the best. Like, there's going to be I think the Reds could really fall off. Like, they're a weird team this year. The Brewers are another team that you could take a look at and see, because they're in a division with the Cubs, with the Cardinals. They're 6 games back of the Cubs. They're 3 games back of the Cardinals. June is going to be such a telling month for what the Phillies are going to be able to do when it comes to the bullpen market, because you're going to see what teams are still alive going into July, going into the All-Star break, and that's going to determine the market. What these teams do in June is really going to showcase if it's a buyer's market or if it's a seller's market. And if a lot of those teams that we just rattled off continue to falter, continue to lose games, it's going to be a seller's market. And then we got to really pick and choose, okay, what prospects are we okay giving up? Not that I'm a prospect hugger. There's very few that I'd be like, these guys are off the table. And it's probably Painter, Crawford, Aiden Miller, Mick Abel, and maybe 1 or 2 more. Anybody else, if you can go get a legitimate piece for the back end of the bullpen, if you can go and get 2 guys from the same team for the bullpen, if you can go and get a bench bat, you got to make those moves. Because I was looking at the bench the other day too, and man, that I've talked about this for a long time. One of the biggest weaknesses for the Phillies is they don't have a guy that strikes fear into opposing bullpen pitchers off the bench. There's no Matt Stairs on this team. There is no Ben Francisco on this team. And that's even a drastic drop-off from Matt Stairs. But Ben Francisco was a guy that could come in and get you a pinch hit in a heartbeat. There's nobody on this bench outside of Edmundo Sosa who I feel confident with them coming off the bench and getting a hit in a key situation if it was a playoff game. Your bench right now for the Phillies is bleak. It is Edmundo Sosa, it is Rafael Marchand, who has been a nothing burger to me. It is Weston Wilson, who has had a rough start to the season, and it's a flip-flop depending on who's starting and who's not between Brandon Marsh and Johan Rojas. That's not 8th inning, 2 runners on, 1 out, playoff game environment. None of those guys are oh yeah, that's who I want coming in to pinch hit for Max Kepler, or pinch hit for Johan Rojas, or pinch hit for, whomever. It's weird that the Phillies don't have a Josh Bell type or somebody to come off the bench and really be a strategy guy that makes a bullpen pitcher and makes a pitching coach kind of have to play a chess game with who they pitch to and who they pitch around.
For sure. I definitely think trading in the before the deadline for a bullpen piece would be nice, but I'm in the camp that we should bring in Hoskins. Like I miss the guy. I love the guy. He's a Philly through and through. And if we're gonna go on the run that I think we're gonna go on the run this season, even having him as a bench guy would be just kind of elite. And maybe you train him for left field. Like, who knows? He's an adaptable guy. Him and Kepler switching off positions. Wouldn't be mad at it.
It's one of those things. It's just like, where does he fit that warrants the cost that I think he's going to be at the deadline, especially because he's a pending free agent. He's got a mutual option for 26. It's like, you can put him at DH, which then you put Schwarber in left field, which puts Kepler on the bench, which makes your bench a little bit deeper. But then on top of that, it's like you can go, I'll put him at first base. And then you put Harper in right field, like you talked about in the offseason, saying if we got a dynamic first baseman, I'd go back to the outfield. But then it's like, where does that put Nick Castellanos, who's been one of your most consistent hitters the entire season? It's a weird shuffleboard that the Phillies were dealing with when Rhys was here. And I don't know if Rhys would be fully I'm sure he would love to come back, obviously. Philadelphia is a place that he made home. And but I don't know if you can be Rhys, we're gonna have you just coming off the bench as a bench guy. You're gonna be a pinch hitter, and every fourth day you're gonna play DH, and we'll get Schwarber out of taking Schwarber out of the lineup, I think, is a mistake. Taking Castellanos out of the lineup is a mistake. It's such a weird yes, I want it, but how does it work?
Yeah. I have a feeling they'll figure it out, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for what's to come because the Phillies are the best team in baseball. We are going to dive into the run differentials, a little underground stats and info. If you're new to the program, we keep track of run differentials because I truly believe that is the telltale sign of whether you are a good team, a bad team, or you're mediocre. And I love that all of the big talking heads and media outlets are starting to talk about run differential when we've been doing it since 2021. We go through the NL East. Harrison guesses the run differentials. Jacob, I'm going to have you chime in here too and see if you can guess as well. You get one clue. You either get the runs scored for the team or the runs against, and then you guess, and then I'll give you the answer. And we'll go through that with the whole NL East, and then we'll just go through all of baseball like we always do. So we'll start with the 35-19 best team in Major League Baseball, Philadelphia Phillies, 9-1 in their last 10. Boys, would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Jacob, what are you feeling?
I was gonna let you. I'm just the intern here, so I'll let you pick.
I like to go with the runs against because I feel like that gives a better precedent. So let's go runs against.
All right, you may go.
So the runs against for the Philadelphia Phillies is 218. They have surrendered 218 runs, which is the third fewest in the NL East.
Last week they were at plus 30 something. So this week I'm gonna say plus 44.
Ding 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 ding.
Holy
nailed it. Second time you've nailed one?
Second time because I got the Mets week 1.
Yes, there it is. Plus 44 is the correct answer. 262 runs scored, 218 against for a plus 44 run differential for the Fightin' Phils. We go to the New York Mets. They're 34-22, 2 games back in the division. They're 5-5 in their last 10. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
I got a first try last time, so Jacob, now you take over.
I'll do run scored.
They have scored 243 runs this season, which is the second most in the division behind the previously mentioned Philadelphia Phillies.
Is that including today's game?
I believe so, yes, because it says their next game is May 30th. So Did they get rained out too, or were they off?
No, they lost 9-5 to the White Sox, actually.
Beautiful.
Cool.
So yes,
Never be us, but
could not be us.
Couldn't be us.
I'll say plus 29.
Yeah, I'm gonna go plus 37.
So they are a plus 57.
Oh.
They have scored 243, but they've only given up 186 on the season, which is the lowest in the division. Yeah, they have off tomorrow, so that's why their next game is Friday. But yeah, they lost 9-4 to the White Sox. We are laughing.
Nice.
We go to the 25 and 28, 9.5 games back in the division. Atlanta Braves. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
Let's take their against again.
They have 207 runs against, which is the second fewest in the division behind the Mets.
I'm gonna say plus 18.
They are at plus 9. Plus 9. They have scored 216 runs. They have given up 207 for the plus 9. And that concludes the positive run differentials in the NL East. So the following two teams have negative run differentials, which brings us to the 24 and 30 Washington Nationals. Would you like the runs scored or runs against?
We've been alternating. Jacob, take this one.
I'll do runs against.
They have 282 runs against this season.
Hit a minus 54.
I like that. I like that.
So close. So close.
Damn.
Minus 56.
Damn.
Ooh.
Minus
Both
56.
of us got one on.
That would have broken the internet.
Oh yeah.
Minus 56. They've surrendered 282. They've scored 226 on the season, and that brings us to the lowly 22 and 32 Miami Marlins. Would you like the runs scored or runs against?
With the Marlins, I can't imagine they've scored that many, so I'm gonna take the runs against.
They have surrendered an NL East high 305 runs so far this season.
God damn. Minus 82.
I love that guess. Love it.
Very close again. Minus 76. Minus 76. That may be the best performance we've had, though.
Funny
you
enough,
got one on the nose, and you were within 10 for two other.
I was about to say like minus 77, minus 76, and I was like, no, it's
right
with
there.
that many runs against. Had to be in the 80s.
They've scored 229. They've scored 229, surrendered 305. The rest of the National League, the Cubs have a plus 94 run differential. They've scored the most runs in the National League at 328. The Cardinals have a plus 43 run differential. The Brewers have a plus 1 run differential. The Reds, even though they're at 500, have a plus 33 run differential. And the Pittsburgh Pirates have a negative 60 run differential. And then we go to the NL West. The Dodgers have a plus 65 run differential. The Padres are at plus 18. The Giants are at a plus 39. The Diamondbacks are minus 6. And here's everybody's favorite as well. We guess the 9 and 46 Colorado Rockies run differential. Because, Jacob, we are also on hashtag 1K watch because in our lifetime, my lifetime specifically, there have only been 2 teams who have surrendered 1,000 or more runs on the season. One of them being the 1998 Colorado Rockies, the other being, I think it's either the 94 and 96 Detroit Tigers.
What?
The Rockies could join that club this year. Would you like their runs scored or runs against?
I think we both have to guess here. And since the Rockies are so terrible, I feel like it would be a disservice to get ask for their runs against. Let's get their runs for here.
Yeah.
So they have scored 176 runs on the season.
Minus 103.
Minus 140.
They are at a minus 174 run
Oh,
differential this year.
God damn.
Which,
How
if we
bad
take,
of a baseball team do you have to be?
Hey, free Brenton Doyle. That man needs a new team. Maybe come to Philly.
I did see a hilarious stat.
Oh my
The
God.
Oklahoma City Thunder have won more games recently than the Colorado
If
So-
the Thunder have won more games recently, that I'm sure that means that the Pacers have won more games too.
So
sorry.
with their 350 runs against in 55 games, it's an average of 3.63 runs per game. We multiply that for the whole 162 game season. The Rockies are on pace to surrender about 1,031 runs on the year.
Didn't they set a major league record for the past 100 years as the worst start? Because
Yes.
they're in the top 5 all time, but those other 4 are all from the 1800s.
Yeah, it's insane. And like for context, like the Miami Marlins have given up 305, but they're only on pace to give up about 898 runs on the year.
Only.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like how vast of a difference. Like that's 200 more runs the Rockies are on pace to give up than the Marlins.
They're so bad.
It's so bad. American League run differentials real quick too. The Yankees are at a plus 112. The Rays are at a plus 20. The Toronto Blue Jays, who the Phillies will see soon, are at a minus 28. The Red Sox are at a plus 12, even though they're 4 games under 500. And the Baltimore Orioles are at a minus 95. The AL Central, the Tigers, who have the best record in the American League at 37-20, have a plus 84 run differential. The Cleveland Guardians, even though they're 5 games over 500, have a minus 17 run differential. The Twins, who have the same exact record as the Guardians, have a plus 26 run differential. The Royals are 29-27. They have a minus 6 run differential. And the 18-38 Chicago White Sox have a minus 48 run differential on the season. And then in the goofiest division in baseball, the AL West, the Mariners are at a plus 27. The Astros are at a plus 36. The Texas Rangers are at a minus 10. The Angels are a minus 55. And the Athletics are at a minus 89. And for reference there, too, because the A's have played how many games? They played 56. They've given up 324 runs on the year. Just to compare that to the Rockies as well, the A's are on pace for 937 runs surrendered this year. So even as bad as they are, they're still 100 some odd runs behind what the Rockies are on pace to give up. It's absolutely insane. But there are your run differentials around the NL East and Major League Baseball. It's brought to you by our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. Guys, whether you're going to Citizens Bank Park to catch a Phil's game, going and hanging out at the bar with your friends, or just kicking it at home, you want to look your best and represent your favorite Philly sports teams with our merch partners at PHI Apparel Company. With their unique designs for all, there's no doubt in our minds you will stand out in the crowd. Plus, you can represent your favorite Philadelphia sports podcast because PHI Apparel Company is the exclusive home to Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast merchandise. Go to phiapparel.co or visit the link in the description. And when you fill your cart up to the gills with all of your favorite merchandise, use code Underground to get 10% off your entire merch order from our friends at PHI Apparel Company. Again, that's phiapparel.co and use code Underground for 10% off your next merch order. And look your best, stand out in the crowd with the official merch partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now we go to everyone's favorite segment, the Platinum Plunk Award standings. And if you're new to the program, this is us keeping track of teams, players, and the Philadelphia Phillies who have been hit by the most pitches this season. Harrison, this is the last show we will do and before we announce the winners for the month of May, which is crazy how quickly the month of May flew by. We have a new leader in the clubhouse in the National League, all by himself. Leading the National League is infielder for the Milwaukee Brewers, Caleb Durbin, who has been hit by 9 pitches so far this season. And leading the way in the American League and all of baseball is last year's Platinum Plunk champion, Randy Arozarena, who's been hit by 10 pitches this season.
Damn.
My boy's out here catching strays. We go to the overall team leaders. And Harrison, you know who's at the top. You know who's at the top.
Oh, yeah.
It's those no good, dirty, rotten New York Mets. Been hit by 34 pitches this season as a team. Right behind them, though, the champions for the month of April, the Minnesota Twins, who have been hit by 33. The Mariners have been hit by 29. The Diamondbacks, Astros, Yankees, and Cardinals have all been hit by 26. The Orioles and Nationals have been hit by 25. The Tigers and the Brewers have been hit by 24. The Red Sox and the Angels have been hit by 23. The Guardians, Royals, and Pirates have been hit by 21, which is league average. The Reds, Dodgers, and Blue Jays have been hit by 20. The Rangers have been hit by 19. The Phillies have been hit by 18. The Rockies by 17. The Braves, Giants by 16. The Cubs by 14. The Marlins, Padres, and Rays have been hit by 13. The White Sox by 12. And the Athletics have been hit by just 10 pitches this season. And then we go to the leaders in the clubhouse for our Philadelphia Phillies. Still leading the way with 4 is Kyle Schwarber, but joining Alec Boehm and Max Kepler in a tie for second place is the aforementioned Bryce Harper, who went from 0 to 3 in less than a week. Trey Turner and Nick Castellanos.
One of them was worse than we possibly could have imagined.
It's crazy how quickly, because we were talking about it. It's like, we're glad that he hadn't been, but it's crazy that Bryce hasn't been hit by a pitch yet this season. And then the A's and the Braves just are like, oh, we'll fix that real quick. So Bryce is tied for second with Boehm and Kepler. Castellanos and Trey Turner have both been hit by 2 pitches, and Bryson Stott has been hit by 1, which leaves JT Realmuto, Johan Rojas, Brandon Marsh, and Mundo Sosa, Rafael Marchand, and Weston Wilson as the only guys on the active roster who have not been hit by a pitch this season. And that is our Platinum Plunk standings, brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer, the official beer partner of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It's a refreshing light beer, just 4.1% ABV, 120 calories, just 8 grams of carbs. You guys can go to kenwoodbeer.com, use the Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap in the Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Delaware, New Jersey, and Maryland areas. You can also find it at your local liquor stores in those markets. Again, that's kenwoodbeer.com. Use that Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood Beer on tap. Plus, Harrison, you're back home. They got the tall Kennys. They got the big Kennys at the Man Center all season long. So you're going to the Man Center this summer to take in all of the shows that are happening out there. You can get big Kennys at the Man. Must be 21 or older to do so. And as always, guys, please drink responsibly. All right, it's time. It's intern interview time, everyone. We have never had a full-blown content intern on the show. Harrison started off on OTB. Christian started off with Pat Pitts and his fantasy football show, and then turned into the host of Streamer Season. Intern Ethan's on Getting the Hole. So we finally have an intern here on this show. So, Harrison, I know we didn't do any homework for this, but with Jacob being new to the fold, I feel like it's us, going full-blown Matt Murdock season, interrogation season, kind of figure out some odds and ends about Jacob that we need to know, that we got to have in our back pockets here. Plus, we have a couple of voicemails from some loyal listeners of the show and a couple of our friends that work for our company to welcome Jacob to the Underground. And Jacob, we will give you the floor here to kind of introduce yourself to the people, let them know what you're about, your fandoms, your allegiances, and kind of give your full-blown introduction to Underground Sports Philadelphia. So we'll start with that. Introduce yourself to the people, let them know what you're about and how the fuck you're a Phillies fan. You're from New York, but you're a Boston Celtics fan, because my brain is in an absolute Philly pretzel about that.
Okay, so I'm Jacob. I'm the intern. I'm originally from South Jersey. The reason I actually know Kyle is he gave me swim lessons when I was like 3 or 4 years old. So that's kind of a full circle moment. Saw him for the first time the other month. For the first time in like 14, 15 years. Like, what the fuck?
Literally, I was like, whoa, you weren't this tall the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Your boy grew up a little bit. Helps.
He ate his Wheaties, folks. He ate his Wheaties.
Yeah. I definitely did. And the chicken and Pete's. So eat those.
That too.
Ooh, yeah.
We'll
You gotta get some crab fries in. Come on now.
A little coverage fries. We're good. But diehard Phillies fan, watch all the games with my mom. Love it. Text her in all the games, even when I'm at college. Talk about the Braves, why they fucking suck, why we're the best team in baseball, why Bryce Harper's the greatest player of all time. Celtics fan. I'll be honest, Isaiah Thomas was one of my favorite players. So back in 2016-17, my 3 favorite players were John Wall, Isaiah Thomas, and Kyrie Irving. I didn't like the Cavs originally because I didn't like LeBron at the time. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like LeBron at the time. Now I think he's the greatest player of all time. The Wizards.
Good take.
The Wizards, there was some I just didn't like about the Wizards. I think they had a UNC dude. I'm a Duke fan, so I was like, definitely can't choose the Wizards. And then Isaiah Thomas. Thought the dude was a dog, 5'9", averaging 30. And I'm like, all right, this dude's a dog. So I chose to be a Celtics fan. And then when they drafted Jason Tatum, I loved that because I was a Duke fan. So I'm like, all right, I'm definitely rocking with this team. And then I saw him win a championship last year, one of the best moments of my life. So I fucking love that.
So, are you just strictly baseball, basketball? Do you have football, hockey, anything else fandom?
Hockey, I'll say I like the Flyers. I don't watch hockey for shit. Football,
I feel like most Flyers fans have not watched hockey for shit unless you're a certified sicko like Harrison, and have just sat through the doldrums and just the just pure level of like an Odysseus trial of pure hell watching the Flyers over the last decade. But yes, I am also a Flyers fan, but this year was the first year I was like, okay, I see a vision here. I'm going to get back in on the team.
Yeah, you haven't known suffering until you've seen someone you thought was the goalie of the future commit an awful, heinous crime and then get kicked off the team and out of the league. And then also all the players that you knew and loved growing up either retire or get traded to the goddamn Florida Panthers before they went on their Stanley Cup winning run, only to get dealt away from the Panthers before they won the Claude Giroux deserves so much better. So much better. But I digress. I don't want to get heated.
Football fandom.
Okay, so it's like in the middle. Okay. I'm not a fan of them. Like, I'll still like support them, but not like I did when I was a young kid. I was a dumb little kid. I don't know who let me decide this, but I fucking grew up a Cowboys fan. Yeah, I may get fired now, but like, I regret my decisions. We suck.
How did that occur?
Dude,
how are you born and raised in South Jersey and you fall victim to Cowboys fandom?
I was a dumb fucking kid. I don't know.
Oh God. Oh God.
We're gonna fix that. Don't worry, because
yeah.
when I was doing like the onboarding process with Jacob, one of the things that stood out to me, he had the balls to go to Eagles tailgates and do man on the street interviews. We're gonna fully indoctrinate him not only into the water, we're gonna bring him to the good side, and we're gonna let him spread his wings. And he's gonna start yelling "Go Birds" and "Fly Eagles Fly." He's gonna adopt a Delco accent and start calling people dickheads. And we're gonna shake him of that stink of Cowboys fandom.
I wouldn't hate that, but I'm gonna get called a bandwagon now. So
no. You're working for a Philadelphia brand, like you're from South Jersey. You were a bandwagon Cowboys fan, and now you're coming back to the light.
You saw the light.
You can't say bandwagon Cowboys fans because they were never good when I was young. They were always shit.
You had Tony Romo. At least they were Super Bowls that were more recent than the Eagles had back then. So it was still America's team.
You just saw the light. You figure,
Yeah.
it's like when you have pink eye and you try to wake up and you got all the crust in your eye. You finally got all the crust out of your eyes and you're just seeing green now.
Yeah. Midnight green.
Green, Kelly green.
Kelly
You're seeing
green.
it all. We're gonna make sure that happens by the end of this internship. I promise you that.
I won't hate that. I'm fucking sick.
I'll tell you, Kermit says it's not easy being green. It's very easy.
It's pretty goddamn easy. It's
easy.
pretty fun over here.
Yeah.
So on top of the fandoms, Jacob does man on the street stuff, which I'm very excited about. We're gonna be doing a lot of man on the street videos. What inspired the man on the street kind of, because that is something that it takes balls to be able to do that first and foremost. Not many people are brave enough to just go up to somebody with a microphone and be like Harrison, for context, he not only has done it at Eagles tailgates, he's gone into New York City and interviewed Knicks fans before games and done it with Knicks fans, in side talk universe over there. What got you into the man on the street stuff? Because I do find it very impressive that you are just fully willing to go out and do that.
So honestly, it was with one of my boys, Tavis, shout out. That's like a brother to me. He always recorded them for me. So we were at the game and we saw a video. I'm like, you want to do this? I think someone did it with Yankees or Mets fan. I'm like, all right, fuck that. Philly is better than any fans in the fucking universe, and I will die on that hoe any day of the year. And I'm like, we got there a little late to the game, and I'm like, all right, we'll just go in, chill. So we're walking around, and we see the Philly sports guy, the dude who dresses up all face paint and shit. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask him, yo, can I get an interview? And I was like, yo, you mind doing an interview? He goes, what about him? Just the fight-ins. And then I did that. Next day, I sent it to Barstool Philly, and they picked it right up and posted it. I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. And then from there, anytime there's a big game, I will head down, do interviews, fucking branching out to New York a little bit. Hated it because it's not Philly to me, so it didn't hit right, but it was still dope doing it.
Yeah. You ever get any moments like fuck your life bing bong or?
Dude, the first interview I did, I said, what would you do for a Knicks championship? Dude said he would straight up kill me. I looked at him
that video had me pissing myself. We have to repost that on our socials because I was howling. That dude was so straight faced with you about that too.
I looked at him, I'm like, look at you and look at me. I'm 6 inches taller than you. I'm yadded out of my mind. I will fuck you up.
Yeah.
And I got my two other friends there doing it with me. We all play college basketball together. I'm like, you're not winning this fight, bro. You're not winning this fight.
So funny.
Also, the balls to just tell someone that you just met, don't even know, on the street, yeah, I'd kill you for it, Chip.
On camera. He willingly said he would commit murder.
On camera.
I got a text from my mom after that. She goes, are you in danger? I go, no, I'm good. I'm good, Mom.
Hey, you can hear your mom's voice too. That's so good.
You don't know where I live. I just ran into him on the street.
Bro doesn't want to see me. Come back to FU Forum, see what happens.
When I saw that video, I was like, oh my God. The fact he was just so stone cold about it too. He was like, I'd kill you right now.
The best part is on the subway there, I had a few drinks in me, so I'm like, did I just fucking hear him right?
Yeah.
Did he say that?
It's one of those things you're you don't think about it much in the moment. You react to it, but you're not actively thinking about it.
Yeah.
Then you leave, and your mind starts wandering. You're like, did he just threaten me?
Oh, it's so good. So in terms of man on the street, you know what I was thinking, Harrison, because you know what's coming up next month.
Oh yeah.
The Club World Cup.
Oh yeah.
Is happening at the Link.
Chelsea,
I feel like
Philadelphia.
We need to go down to the Link and have Jacob interview some rabid soccer fans.
Yeah.
Which would be hysterical.
Especially that Chelsea kit and just start screaming a bunch of shit.
Especially with the teams that are gonna be in Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be some absolute animals. Like Real Madrid is going to be in Philadelphia. Chelsea is going to be in Philly. Who else? Juventus is going to be in Philly. Manchester City is going to be in Philly.
There's going to be a Brazilian club in Philly too, isn't there?
Yeah, CR Flamengo is going to be in
Oh,
Philly.
Their fans are rabid too. So
there's going to be so many like good teams. Plus the quarterfinals are in Philly, I believe. If I'm looking at this, yeah, quarterfinals are in Philly, and a round of 16 is in Philly. It would be so goddamn funny to just see what soccer fans would be willing to do for their team to win the Club World Cup of all things.
Yep. And also, if they've come from abroad, how you like in Philadelphia?
Yes.
Welcome to Philly, asshole.
Yeah, how you?
I've called you a dickhead just walking.
How you doing, dickhead?
How many times have you tried to fight someone for calling you a dickhead, not realizing that they were just complimenting you?
Just get a random like tourist Wawa order.
Oh. Hey, you know the Pope has a Wawa order, so now all you Europeans got to get a Wawa order.
Did you see the Pope is like confirmed an Eagles fan?
Go Birds!
Go Birds.
We're the holy team.
We're the holiest team in the fucking league. It's so funny. That shit still cracks me up that the Pope knows what Wawa is.
The Pope probably had to drive over the Ben Frank a couple times and raged at all the dumbass drivers around the area.
What if he dropped the Jesus fucking Christ for that?
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. I'm just trying to get back to the main line in Villanova. Like, can we figure this out?
My bad.
So you said Bryce Harper, favorite baseball player, so we know that.
All
check.
time, yeah. Him and Chase Utley.
Chase Utley, perfect.
Godly.
Tatum's favorite basketball player, unfortunately.
Tatum and Kobe. Kobe, his mentality is fucking absurd. Just the way he carried himself to work as hard as he did on and off the court is something I think everyone should respect, even if you're not a sports player. That should be your mindset for everything.
And the way he uplifted women's sports too, you got to respect it.
Yeah, like he wanted for that to be in a good place for his daughter.
Yep, and it's a shame he's not here to see it, but it is in a much better place now.
Oh, damn right, he would be proud. He would be.
I love the Caitlin Clark Angel Reese stuff going on right now.
It's insane.
Yeah, I love it.
So if you have them, favorite football player and just favorite overall athlete.
Favorite football player because I was a dumb Cowboys fan, Des Bryant.
Understandable.
Des Bryant was a dog. I was throwing up the X a lot when I was a kid. I'm not gonna lie.
We'll fix that.
Yeah.
Did he catch that football?
Yes, he fucking. I will die on that hill. He caught that football. I think as Eagles fans, you guys can admit he caught that shit too.
I think it's funny. No. I think it's funnier to say he caught it and then they still lost the game. So that's what I'm gonna say.
True.
That's what I say.
Yeah. And
but
then favorite overall athlete
in like all of sports.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Bryce Harper.
There we go.
Love it.
Hitting that homer against the Padres, I was fucking geeked.
I left my body when that happened.
Oh yeah, and then going to the World Series game where he hit the homer off McCullers is the loudest fucking noise I've ever heard. That place starts shaking.
I still go back to that grand slam he had against the Cubs, and
that was unreal.
Whenever I need to pick me up, that's just the video I watch.
Kruk just going, oh my god,
and him just sprinting around the bases like an absolute lunatic.
So good.
Yeah.
The fact that I was at the game against I was at the Arcia stare down game.
Yeah.
When he blows out the candles, like the 3-1 holding it up, and like also what perfect karma that Orlando Arcia is now on the Colorado Rockies.
Oh yeah.
It's perfect karma. Like there's the tweet that Rihanna had, like anyone who speaks ill on my from my tongue will fall. That's how Bryce Harper was. Anyone who speaks ill on Bryce Harper, they will fall. Orlando Arcia has fallen to the 9 and whatever for Colorado Rockies.
And now Strider will too.
Pure comedy.
Real quick, the Philadelphia Union scored 2 goals in 6 minutes to take the lead over Toronto.
Let's go.
Dub. That's
Let's
a dub.
go.
91st minute.
Let's go. We do have voicemails for Jacob. You guys can always leave us a voicemail. It's the AJ Brown voicemail line because that thing is always open. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia if you want to get your takes off about the Phils, Eagles, Sixers, Flyers, Union, Wings, Waterdogs, just Philly in general. Whatever comes to mind. The voicemail line is always open. It's linked in the description of both audio and video versions of the podcast. Speakpipe.com/Underground Sports Philadelphia. Here is, I don't have them labeled, but here is voicemail number 1.
What up, Jacob? It's Owen from Underground Circuit. Welcome to the Underground Sports Network. This is an amazing group of people. It's going to be so much fun to just working with them and everything. I love every second of it. I know you're going to love every second of it. Kyle, greatest guy on earth. We love him to death. I hope you enjoy your first episode. I hope you enjoy your internship. Hopefully I get the chance to talk to you. See you later.
Oh yeah, man. That sounds
Owen is goated. Go listen to Underground Circuit. It's our motorsports podcast. Casey and Owen, brother sister duo that do a fucking phenomenal job covering that world for us. Owen's the man. So that is Owen. Here is voicemail number 2.
Yo, Jacob, it's Tavis, man. I'm so proud of you. Underdog Sports Philly just picked up a real one. You've always been locked in, passionate. You're built for this, man. I'm so proud of you. Go do your thing, man. Show them why you're that guy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
That was
man.
actually.
Good luck.
Oh shit! Didn't realize it's still going. That was actually the dude who, of course, recorded my first ever interview. So
Let's go.
That's my brother for life, man. That's sick. And he just got actually an internship with fucking NFL Films. So
Let's go.
congrats, boy.
Let's go.
Double
Locked in.
Double dubs.
And here is voicemail number 3 from, as we like to call him, the host with the most,
Oh God.
Pat Pitts.
Oh God.
Hey, intern. I forget your name. Jacob. I really forget. I'm sorry. Welcome to the underground team. Who am I? Well, I'm the champ of the peeps and captain of all things nonsensical, Patty Pitts. Welcoming you to the underground fam. Few things. One, you got to be at least a Philly ally. I don't know where you're from, but if Go Birds isn't in your vocabulary, it's in mine, and I'm all the way up in New England. Second, lacrosse is cool. Wrestling is cooler. Always remember that. Wrestling is cooler. And third, are you a wrestling fan? We need more wrestling fans in the fam. You know what I mean? We got Harrison, myself, but we need more because it's getting cool again, and we need cool people to be fans of it. You know what I mean? Let me know. Just shoot me a text. Let me know what you're into. I'd love to hook up and chat and talk nonsense. All right, toodles.
It's the most Pat Pitts voicemail there could ever be.
Is he talking about the real or fake wrestling?
He's talking about WWE, like,
Oh, so the fake one.
yes.
Okay.
Don't let him hear you say that.
He's like in the mud covering, like, he's been in the last 2 WrestleManias, like, has a 3 times a week live wrestling podcast that is like part of our network, but it's like a sister production. But Pitts like always pops up on stuff here. Speaking of Pitts, Harrison, sidebar on him. I was going back because for whatever reason, Facebook is deciding they're going to delete live videos that are longer than 30 days old starting in June. So I have been hyper downloading all of our old shows. I've downloaded like 200 episodes of this podcast from the beginning.
Mhm.
I did not realize Pat Pitts was like co-hosting this show with me in 2020.
God damn.
I was like, I did not realize he got on the main pod that quickly. I was like, who greenlit that? Oh, this big dumb dipshit right here.
Who did that? Doodles.
Poodles, call me. Let's hook up. Oh my God, I can't wait.
We'll chat.
That is the most Pat Pitts shit ever. You will probably be introduced to Pat if not sooner, on the Home Run Derby stream, because he's part of the live stream crew, which Harrison will be on that this year, which I'm so excited for. That's typically me, Pitts, Stephen McAvoy, who's our host of our golf podcast, and DJ, who's my co-host of our lacrosse show. Those live streams, literally, like, the day we get a headquarters and we're doing this full time, the four of us, that is going to be a show that just happens. And it is the most ridiculous shit. The fact that the first time DJ ever met those two was on that stream, and Pitch just DoorDashed Wendy's and took this massive bite of a Baconator. There's a clip of it out there. Just took a massive chew into this Baconator. I thought DJ was going to have a heart attack from laughing so hard, because it looked like Squidward like 10x'd. He was just like into it, and it was the most absurd bite of a piece of food I've ever seen. But that is Pat Pitts. He is there's only one Pat Pitts. That's all you can really say, and Harrison knows that all too well. There's only one Pat Pitts, and I'm so happy he's our little demon child.
Oh, he's a character, and I love him. He's awesome.
He's a menace. So there's that. You can leave voicemails for Jacob and for us. Like I said, speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. I think that would be a very fun segment as well if Jacob gets voicemails throughout his internship. So leave those voicemails. Speakpipe.com/undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Harrison, it's PLL season, baby.
Yes.
Part of our mission, we're going to get Jacob into the PLL. It is the fastest growing game on 2 feet. It starts this weekend, Albany, New York. I'm fucking pissed I'm not going to be there like I initially was going to be, because your boy doesn't have a car right now, because life. There's a full unadulterated rant on this week's Getting the Whole podcast, but I will give it to you in a more calm sense here. So my car has been like doing this thing where it likes to stall, and I have no idea what's caused it. It does this thing where if I have my foot on the brake for too long, I'll start shaking, and I'm in like turbulence going to the fucking moon. And then my car has like one of those like automatic off features when you brake, so it like turns the battery off or whatever. Mm-hmm. So instead of just going off, it goes there and then it clicks the car completely off. But everything else is still on. Like air conditioning's on, radio's on, everything else is on but the car. And then it's been stalling out. It won't accelerate right away when I'm going. And then last Saturday, I believe it was, like I was going to one of the middle schools that I work at for their theater department for their show, and my car just completely stalled out. Check engine light came on. I was diagonal in the road, like going straight up from my house, and there's a truck like coming towards me. I was like, this is just how it ends. This is how it all ends. It's been a good 31 and a half years. Like we put in our time. It's been fun. It's been real. So it's been at the shop since Tuesday. So I've been without a car since like, what's the exact date here? Since May 17th, I have not had a car. So we're coming up on 2 weeks. Tuesday, the 20th, I believe, was the day that my parents successfully got it to our mechanic. Okay. My mechanic is closed Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So from Tuesday to Wednesday to Thursday to Monday, they weren't there because Memorial Day probably, to Tuesday again, had no point of contact, like no contact whatsoever, no updates, nothing. We finally call yesterday, and they're like, from all the research we've done, it seems like it's a computer issue with the car that has to get reset, and only the dealerships can only a dealership can reset it. And I was like, so you took like 96 hours to confirm that it was a technological issue and didn't give any updates. So then we had it towed to a dealership, and the soonest that they can get it in for a diagnosis is Friday morning, which is when I was supposed to be leaving to go to Albany for PLL opening weekend.
Damn.
So yeah, I won't be in Albany, unfortunately, but everything happens for a reason, you know, but I'm pissed that I won't be there as part of the national media covering the PLL. But PLL is back. It's on ESPN. That's the best part, Jacob. It's easy to watch. Every game is on ESPN, ESPN Plus. There's games on ABC all year long. It's fantastic. And we've got a team right here, the Philadelphia Waterdogs, led by the man, the myth, the legend, the boy, Michael Sowers, Philly's own, Montgomery County's own. We got
He's a
Kieran
Waterdog.
McCardle, who's an absolute demon. We've got the new national champion, first overall pick, CJ Kirst, part of a lineage of Kirst brothers coming in. We've got Notre Dame's own Jake Taylor coming in. We've got a weapon of a defense. We've got an absolute unit in Jack Hanna in that midfield. We've got the sniper himself, Connor fucking Kelly, ready to go and launch 2 bombs down opposing goalies' throats. And we've got Team Canada's goalie in Dylan Ward. Plus, we've got our guy, Matt DeLuca, backing him up. The Waterdogs coach, most successful college coach in the history of the game, Bill Tierney, who, Harrison, I was so out on Bill Tierney after last year because he just like it felt like the game had sped him by. You know, he's great college coach, but I didn't think he adapted to the PLL style of game.
Yep.
After having media availability with Bill Tierney this week and the connection that Bill Tierney and I have built over the past couple of months, talking to him at the draft, him being excited to see me, I couldn't be more in on Bill Tierney now. Yep. Old man Tierney is ready to take this league by storm. He said, you can't have good culture unless you have good people. And I was like, that's a quote of a championship head coach. He said, I've learned a lot from last year. I've changed a lot of the approach I had. I've started to learn about these guys as people rather than just players. Me and Michael Sowers call each other once a month to just shoot the breeze and talk to each other. I was like, this is a championship head coach, and I'm so ready for them to rock and roll. And Jacob, for reference here, the Waterdogs were the first expansion team in the PLL. League started off as 6 teams. Waterdogs came in 2020. Boom. Pandemic happens. They're in a bubble their first season. So they were absolutely terrible because it's a whole bunch of new guys from an expansion draft. There was a prior outdoor league before the PLL called Major League Lacrosse that guys were coming over to the PLL. So we got some guys from there as well coming in that year. And then 2021, first full real season, the Waterdogs finished with the best record in the PLL, but they lose in the playoffs. And then 2022 rolls around, full season of Michael Sowers, who was injured his rookie year, only played in 2 games. First full season of Michael Sowers, 2022 rolls around. The Waterdogs win the Premier Lacrosse League Championship. 2023, they get more dogs on this team, and they just continue bulldozing through the league. They get to the title game again, and then they lose in the title game. And it felt so Philadelphia because it was on the heels of the Phillies losing the World Series, of the Eagles losing the Super Bowl, of the Union losing the MLS Cup. And it just felt so Philadelphia. And then in 2024, the PLL introduced home markets and home cities for the very first time. So prior, they were just Waterdogs Lacrosse Club. There's Chaos Lacrosse Club, Atlas Lacrosse. Now they have home cities, and Philadelphia gets the Waterdogs, rightfully so. And then last year, their head coach, friend of the network, Andy Copeland, steps down after the Waterdogs lose in the championship series, which is like the equivalent to Champions League in soccer, but for lacrosse. They lose in the title game in overtime. And it felt so Philadelphia. And then our coach steps down. And then Bill Tierney is hired, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, college lacrosse coach of all time. And the Waterdogs lose 6 one-score games last year, finished with the worst record in the PLL for the first time since that 2020 bubble. And then they get the privilege and the right to draft CJ Kirst, who is the next coming of Jesus Christ himself on a lacrosse field, set the all-time career record for goals scored in college lacrosse history. He's tied the single season goals record with 82 goals in a season. and he led Cornell University to their first national championship on Memorial Day since 1977 with 6 goals with allegedly a broken hand. He's a demon, and the Waterdogs add him to a team that's loaded with talent, and I think they're going to be really, really fucking good this year. And I think a lot of people are kind of just overlooking them because they were so bad last year and forget that they have some of the most prolific scorers in the entire league. And I think they're just going to grow from the pains that they had last year. And Harrison, I'm gonna read off their schedule for you here so that you have an idea of how things line up for the Waterdogs this year. And on top of that, this year, PLL Saturday Night Lacrosse is the broadcast. Every Saturday night is going to be a game on ESPN and their corresponding channels. So tune into SNL, Saturday Night Lacrosse, on ESPN. Here is the schedule for the Waterdogs this year, Harrison. It is pretty tasty. So the Dogs will have a week 1 bye, so they do not play this weekend. But then in Charlotte, North Carolina next weekend, they will play the Maryland Whip Snakes in their first game. Then in Philadelphia for their homecoming weekend, every team that plays in their home market, Jacob, they play 2 games that weekend. So homecoming weekend, the Waterdogs, Friday, June 13th, will play against the Boston Cannons. Big rivalry game there. And then at 7 p.m. on Saturday, June 14th, they will play the Denver Outlaws. So, Harrison, we get Brennan O'Neill versus Michael Sowers versus whomever else is on the field, because I don't know if CJ Curse is going to be playing right away because of that broken hand, allegedly. But Outlaws and Cannons in their homecoming. Then in Baltimore, Maryland, Saturday, June 21st, the Waterdogs will play the New York Atlas at 4 p.m. on ESPN. And then in San Diego, California, Saturday, June 28th, the Waterdogs play the Redwoods on ESPN. Then All-Star Weekend is 4th of July weekend this year, which is very good for scheduling. It's in Kansas City, Missouri this year. And then July 11th and 12th is Chicago weekend, which is just a neutral site. The Waterdogs will play the Archers on Friday, July 11th. And then Fairfield, Connecticut, another neutral site. The Waterdogs will play the Whip Snakes again. Then in Salt Lake City, the Waterdogs will play the Carolina Chaos. In Denver, they'll play the Boston Cannons. And then in Boston, the Waterdogs will play the Atlas again before the playoffs start. August 23rd, the quarterfinals will be in Minneapolis. The semifinals are in Philadelphia this year on Labor Day. And then the championship game is at Sports Illustrated Stadium in Harrison, New Jersey on September 14th. I feel really good about this Waterdogs team. After talking to Bill Tierney, talking to Michael Sowers, seeing this roster, I'll give you a little reminder too, Harrison, of who's truly on this team now that cuts have happened this week too from training camp. So some of the key players: Michael Sowers, Kieran McCardle, Jake Taylor, who's coming in as a rookie, CJ Kirst, Mikey Boehm is on this team, year 2 for him. Unfortunately, Zed Williams is going to be out for the year more than likely, but Zed is now a Waterdog. Get excited about that. The midfield: Zach Currier, one of the best players on the planet, Jack Hanna, Connor Kelly, Thomas McConvey, Mikey Schlosser, who, Jacob, if I ever get the opportunity for you and Mikey Schlosser to talk to each other, it will be pure cinema. I'm going to send you a picture of what Mikey Schlosser looks like. And he looks exactly like the way that he looks is exactly how he talks, exactly how he acts. He is one of the nicest people I've ever met. Mikey Schlosser is a dog. For reference, when we were walking to, I forget where we were going, but we were at Gillette Stadium following one of the Waterdogs playoff wins a couple years ago. Mikey was just like walking with us, Harrison, and just showed us his ass tattoo. It was so goddamn funny.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Like when the Waterdogs won the championship, Jacob, in 2022, they did like the locker room photos with the trophy and everything. Mikey Schlosser is in there holding the trophy, cigarette in mouth. Just an absolute specimen. This
It
guy,
looks like you be in a fraternity right now, and I know.
literally,
Yeah.
he's the
Pretty
man.
much.
He
He's
is the
awesome.
man.
He's awesome.
The defensive midfield, friend of the program, Christian Scarpello, Matt Witcher, Dylan Hess, who's coming in, tried out for the University of Florida football team, did not make the team, so then he played MCLA lacrosse, which I know you love so dearly, Harrison. He played MCLA at Florida, got drafted by the Waterdogs, and Charlie Hayes is on this team. Kenny Brower is back after being injured last year on this defense. Liam Burns, Jack DiBenedetto, Jimmy Freehill, friend of the program, Eli Gobrecht, Marcus Hudgens and Ben Randall, Rylan Reese and Ben Weyer, Alex Stathakis is our faceoff guy, and then, like I said, Dylan Ward and Matt DeLuca are our goalies. This team's absolutely loaded.
Mhm.
It's full-blown conferences now for how the playoffs work and everything. So that's going to be exciting. I genuinely think the Waterdogs have a legit shot to finish top 2 in the Eastern Conference this year. Will they? Remains to be seen, but I think they'll be battling with the Cannons for second place behind the New York Atlas, just because the Atlas are loaded. They have Jeff Teat, Connor Schellenberger. They added Matt Trainer in the draft. They have Peyton Cormier, Xander. Like, they're offensively loaded. Liam Entenmann is their goalie. Trevor Baptiste is still taking faceoffs for them. They're a loaded team. So unless some things go wrong for them this year, I think the Atlas will still win the East. But I think the Waterdogs will be fighting for that 2-3 seed with the Boston Cannons. And you can't count out the Whipsnakes because, Harrison, I don't know if you know, Rob Pennell is now part of the Maryland Whipsnakes.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, he signed with the Whips in free agency. So it's RP3, TJ Malone, and Matt Rambo running that offense up there for the Whipsnakes.
I might have seen that, but there's just been so much going on in my life that I just kind of missed it.
Yeah, RP3 now part of the Whips.
God, that's.
But I think the Waterdogs are going to finish either second or third, which gets them a playoff spot. And that's all you really need in sports. Get in the dance. That's all I ask for any of our teams. I don't care where you finish. Get in the dance and see what happens, because the playoffs are a totally different animal. And then if the Waterdogs are in the playoffs again, it just gets them back to that prominence that they were from 2021 to 2023 and being an institution in the PLL as one of those premier franchises, like the Utah Archers, who are the 2-time defending champions, like the Maryland Whipsnakes. The Waterdogs deserve to be in that breath. They've won a championship. They've been to 2 championships. They were in a championship series title game as well. They are a dominant force when they're fully healthy, when they're playing their style of lacrosse. I think Bill Tierney has learned a lot about himself, his coaching style. I think the players have learned a lot about Bill Tierney and the staff. And I think this team is poised to go on a run this year and surprise a lot of people compared to where I think a lot of people are slotting them in now. They have a good mix of young and old, vets on this team. Not that they're old, they're in their prime. But I'm excited for PLL to be back, because it's like every Friday and Saturday, I'm locked in watching lacrosse on my TV. And Jacob, I want you to think football meets football physicality meets the play calling and schematics of basketball, because we know you're a basketball guy. If you don't know, Jacob plays basketball at FDU. Basketball, like schematics and plays on a field with football pads.
I like it.
It's so fun.
I have one request, probably won't mean shit, but it is the Philadelphia Waterdogs, so might as well change it to the Waterdogs. Throwing the little.
Oh yeah, we call them the Waterdogs. Sometimes we like to call them the Hydro Pups as the fun little nickname there. Which I would love that to be the WLL team name when they eventually come to Philly with a WLL team. But yeah, the fucking Waterdogs are ready to go on a run. Plus, they've got one of the coolest logos and best color schemes in all of sports. Black, purple, and gray is heat. It's royalty. It's regal, and I think the Dogs are going to go on a run. I think they're going to go on a run this year, which would be exciting, and I need it, and I need the boys to just pop out this summer and bounce back, and I think they're going to do it.
Yes,
Harrison,
sir.
what's your record prediction?
Let me take one more look at this. I need to actively see it because
I believe it's 10 games, if I'm not
10
mistaken.
games?
I'll double check it right now because it's their
7,
pin tweet.
7-3.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 games.
I'm gonna say 7-3. I'm gonna be optimistic. Get the boys to the playoffs. Have a damn good season. Like it might not be top of the division, but it's playoff worthy.
Oh, I'll take 7-3 all day.
Yeah.
After a tumultuous season that was 2024.
1-goal losses. A lot of 1-goal losses. 1 goal going the other way. It's a new game.
And guess what? If those 1-goal losses didn't happen, we wouldn't have CJ motherfucking cursed on this team.
Exactly.
I'll take 7-3 all day. I think that would be the same record that they had in 2022, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we won the chip that year, didn't we?
Waterdogs won the chip in 2022. Their record was, let me find it here. They finished. Waterdogs actually finished 5-5 the year they won the title. They were the 5 seed that year. The year before, though, they finished either 8-2 or 7-3, if I'm not mistaken. When the Whips, or when Chaos won the title over the Whips. The Waterdogs were the 1 seed. They finished 6-3 because they only played 9 games in a season that year, but they went 6-3. So I think that would be their best record. What was their record in 2023? Why am I blanking on that? 2023, the Waterdogs record was where is standings? Come on. Where are the standings? Wikipedia, you're doing me dirty. This is such good podcasting.
Your stuff right now.
This is such good. Here we go. Waterdog. Yeah, 7-3 would tie their best record. They were 7-3 in 2023 when they got to the championship and then lost to the Archers in a phenomenal game. But I'll take 7-3 all day long because I think the Atlas will be like a 7-8, potentially 9 win team if all goes right for them. But if you can be 7-3 in the East, that is so loaded. You know, the Boston Cannons are very good. The Whipsnakes are very good. You know, they were in the title game last year, but did they have title game hangover? Who knows? But I'll take 7-3 all day. I'll co-sign that. I'll co-sign a 7-3 season for you.
Yes, sir. Stamp it. It's in the books.
It's in the books. But yes, the PLL on ESPN all summer long. And guess what, guys? The best way to keep up to date with the PLL is in the PLL app. It's in the App Store, Google Play Store, free to download. It's a gamified app, which is the coolest aspect of the whole thing. When you download the app, there's trivia in the app every single day. You can keep up to date with every single team with articles from beat writers, player interviews, videos, behind-the-scenes footage, RJ's vlogs. There's Pick'em games, PLL Fantasy, which, Harrison, I'll send you the OTB group so you can be in the PLL Fantasy group this year. Yes, there's so much to do in the PLL app, and when you level up in the app, when you get experience points, you unlock perks in the app that are second to none. So download the PLL app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and when you go to check the redeem code section, type in code OTBPOD. That's code OTBPOD, and you get 500 XP on your account. Again, download the PLL app, App Store, Google Play Store, and when you go to the redeem code section, when you create your account, type in OTBPOD to get 500 XP on your account and keep up to date with the PLL all season long in the PLL app. Last bit here, Harrison, you said the Union, they came away with the dub.
Mm-hmm. That's another W for the guys.
2-1 in full time over Toronto. That's
hell
a good
of a game
win
against Miami last Saturday too.
I was so bummed they lost that. That was a game they had in hand.
They drew it. They drew it.
I know.
Oh.
In semantics talks, they had that game won, and it should have been a full 3 points. So it's frustrating to just get one singular point, but I'll take the singular point. It reminded me a lot of the Columbus game a couple of weeks ago, where it was like they had the game won and then it slipped through their fingers. But a good win.
Goal like that, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, good win over Toronto, especially when they have so many games in a tight space. Saturday, then they play today, then they play again Saturday before they have their break. Still first place in the Eastern Conference. Are they atop the whole? Yeah, they're atop the whole MLS right now because Vancouver is not playing tonight, as far as I can see. Oh, they play tonight at 10:30. So Vancouver hasn't played yet, but the Union are now 2 points clear of Vancouver for the best record in points total. I should say points total in the MLS. Best goal differential by a country mile in the East with a plus 14. This team is just playing so well, and we talked about it a little bit last week too. Like Bradley Carnell has just unlocked a new level for this team. It's so impressive that like I knew these guys on this team were talented. I didn't know that they had this in them. Where last year, I think I saw our good friend Jimmy King, who covers the Union for Philly Sports Network, who will be coming on this show and Top Bins in the very near future. I think the Union last year, Harrison, they finished with 37 points last year. All of last year, 37. They have 33 now. Like, what a 1 year, like couple month turnaround for this team compared to where they were last year.
Yeah. It's a complete 180. Joel do a 180 Embiid. And I'm loving it. Both my soccer teams got a massive dub today, and we move. If the Union can get an MLS Cup win and like a league championship before the Flyers or the Sixers even come close to sniffing their respective championships, I might go a little bit insane. But the fact that a Philadelphia team is getting a championship will make me happy.
100%. And I'm looking now. We just got a couple more voicemails in. So I'm going to screen those here real quick. One is only 12. Yes. So I'm going to download these and we'll play these as well before we wrap up. But like the fact that we have the Phillies in first place, best team in Major League Baseball. We have the Philadelphia Union first place, best team in MLS. We have the Waterdogs season on the horizon. The Eagles won the motherfucking Super Bowl. Don't forget it.
Yeah.
Like, we're in for a peak summer of just like pure amazing vibes from the three teams that will be in action, coming off a Super Bowl championship and what the offseason was for the Eagles and the draft that the Eagles had. And on top of that, in about a month, less than a month, the Sixers have the number 3 pick in the draft.
Ooh. Yes, they are.
Vibes.
Unless they deal it and try to
which I won't put that past them because Daryl Morey's probably using some sort of AI-generated machine to determine whether or not Ace Bailey or VJ Edgecombe or
the algorithm's telling me what I got to do.
Or a mannequin is what's right for the Sixers. Here is another voicemail.
What's up, Underground Philly? How we doing? I have a big question for you guys. I was curious on, is the Phillies' success sustainable? Like at this point, we're the best team in the league, got the best record, got some good arms in the bullpen going with Jesus and Jesus and and Wheels, obviously. And I was wondering, like, do you think this team has it to go all the way again? Like that 2022 team, obviously they made it so close to the end, went up 2-1 in the World Series against the best team in the league. Does this team remind you guys of that? Or what are you guys thinking? How will this Phillies team be different and finally win it all? Or will they fall like the rest of the Phillies teams in the past few years? Yeah, I would love to get your thoughts on it.
Great question.
Great question. Those are the types of voicemails we want.
Yeah. I absolutely think it's sustainable. I think this team is built for the long haul right now, especially as we brought up earlier. The relief is getting a lot better. The starting pitching is Cy Young caliber for the first two, and then really well and deep for the next three. The hitting's alive. Once Bryce is back, I don't think he's going to be gone for too long, but once he's fully back, he's going to be angry and he's going to be dangerous. Now, definitely going to have to wait and see what happens post All-Star break. But if we can continue like this towards the All-Star break, which I think they can, I wouldn't be surprised if we make the World Series and win the World Series this time.
Jacob, your thoughts?
It's hitting season, as Uncle Charlie used to say. It's hitting season right now. It's gonna be hitting season in June, especially for Schwarber bombs. It's gonna be hitting season in July, August, September till fucking red October, and then we're gonna win the chip. And then we got arms dealing. Unbiasedly, maybe a little biasedly, we have the best rotation in all of MLB. Jesus, Cy Young favorite. If not, Zach fucking Wheeler, wheeling and dealing. Hey, Mr. Ranger, dialed. Chris Sanchez, dog. Aaron Nola, dog. Still in the postseason. I don't care how bad he's pitching right now. He's still a fucking dog. Taijuan Walker's not pitching like a bitch for once. Dog. Matt Strahm, dog. Do I have to keep going? Oh, Ryan Kirkin, dog.
Yep.
And right now, honorary dog status, Jordan Romano, dog.
I don't want to get too hyped over. We thought Craig Kimbrell was dog, and then he did that.
I was always sus on Craig Kimbrell. I felt like he was a psyop from the Braves.
He absolutely was a psyop.
He was an industry plant.
Yep.
Whit Merrifield was an industry plant.
Yep.
They were all just there to collect them. They were fugazi.
Yep. And that was my boy Ryan. I could tell I know that dude's voice. Pause. Shout out him. He's your artist's favorite artist. Go check out his music, Ryan Saab.
Hell yeah. He asked a great question, and I completely agree with your take there, Jacob. Like, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, just for reference, like Romano had that one blow-up game, but outside of, I think you remove that in that Marlins game over the last month, he's been really dialed in. And I think it was the thing with the arm slot, and his velocity was clearly down at the beginning. Now you look at his velocity, he's hitting 98, 99 with ease, where he was hitting like 92 to 95. And it's like, why is this like varying so much on a fastball? I think he's going to be fine. I think he's finding his stride, and he'll be a big part of this bullpen. And I do think it's sustainable. Like, when you have the offense that the Phillies have, when you have the best rotation in baseball, and I know a lot of people like to get on him because he hasn't made the blockbuster trade since he's been here. You have a future Hall of Famer running this team in Dave Dombrowski. Like, I trust Dave Dombrowski to figure out what needs to be done for this team. And in his past, I think Dombrowski's learning a lot about himself. In his past, he would gut a farm system for one guy to go win a championship. And then for a decade, that team is left in shambles. See the Boston Red Sox, see the Detroit Tigers, see the Marlins. Like, he's learned a lot to keep the key pieces of a farm system intact so that they can be part of a winning formula. And on top of that, we're getting Andrew Painter in like a month into this rotation. So like the Phillies have depth in a lot of key spots that most of their competition don't have. See the Dodgers, who constantly just have throwers. They don't have pitchers. And I think the Phillies are going to finish with one of, if not the best record in baseball this year. And that's all my bias taken out of it. I just love the way they're playing, because I'm a baseball sicko. I'll sit down and watch the Pirates and A's at 10:05 at night on MLB Network and be in my glory. The Phillies are playing such a style of baseball that not a lot of teams are playing right now, and I think they can keep it up. They're picking each other up. Nobody's really talking about Alec Boehm turning a corner. Nobody's talking about Brandon Marsh turning a corner.
I was a believer in Boehm. People hated. I'm just going to say that.
You're on the right podcast.
You're on the right pod, brother.
We are Alec Boehm truthers.
I fucking hate this play shirt in the other room.
I have a PSA graded 10 Alec Boehm rookie card on this shelf over here. So like, we are Boehm believers from day one, but nobody's really talking about that. No one's really talking about how those guys have turned a corner. But yeah, I'm excited about the Phillies' success, and I think it's only going to get better when Dombrowski decides to wheel and deal at the deadline and get some real like game-changing pieces for this team to go on a true run and do one better than 2022, and they're hoisting a trophy at the end of the season.
Party on Broad Street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Last voicemail here.
What's good, Jacob? Welcome to the show. I was curious, what drove you into a career of sports? How did you get involved in it? And yeah, hey, wishing you best of luck, brother.
Appreciate it, man. Dude, anytime I'm with my dad, I'm watching some type of sports. Anytime I'm with my boys, we're talking about some kind of sports. My whole life revolves around sports. If I'm chilling on social media, I'm watching sports. Like, I love sports to death. It revolves around my life. Even my mom said, if I'm in the house and my dad's in the house, we're watching sports. We're not watching a movie, TV. We're watching old games of iconic games or some sports. We're not watching anything else.
Facts. I also lied. There's one more voicemail, and I know who this one's from, and it's going to be fucking hilarious.
Okay.
Yo, dickhead! This is Steve, probably the best co-host or best show host, honestly, in the underground, Get in the Hole. My wife here next to me, Kay. Want to welcome you, Jay, to the program. Welcome to the crew. Excited to have you on with us. Hopefully, I'll get to meet you soon down in Galloway. We'll check things out. Take it easy, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Steve finding out that dickhead was like all encompassing was like the greatest like realization I've ever seen on a human's face. He was like, I love that so much. It was so fun. Steve's from New York. He's from Long Island. And when we were at media day for the Truist Championship in like March, and we were driving into Philly to go to like this mini golf place, and this like middle-aged African-American gentleman is walking in front of the car, and it was opening day. So I had like Phillies hat on, and this dude just yells in the middle of the street while we're at a red light. He's like, "You going to the game, white boy? I see you, white boy. You going to the game? I see you, white boy. I see you." And I just sat back and I was like, that's the greatest thing anybody's ever said to me. I love this city so goddamn much. I thought Steve was going to have a conniption from laughter because it was so fucking funny. The dude was so pure. If I ever see that guy again, I will shake his hand because it was the greatest compliment ever. But when he found out dickhead was just like a universal word, I've never seen someone's face light up so much and so quickly add a word to their like vocabulary in my life.
Yeah. It's the best. Also, now that I'm back home, we gotta play a round of golf together with Steve.
Oh, absolutely. We're working on some fun golf content too, which is going to be a lot of fun. But those voicemails and our union breakdown brought to you by our pals over at Biñho. Guys, we love Biñho here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. Jacob, you're going to love Biñho as soon as I show you what it is. It's like paper football meets foosball. So it's like foosball, but you use your fingers to like flick the ball on the board. Coolest game ever. You'll be the talk of your parties, your tailgates. Wherever you bring out a Biñho board, it is truly the coolest shit ever. Harrison's excited because they just launched their officially licensed Chelsea board last week, and that thing is flying off the shelves. You guys can use our link in the description. Fill up your cart, get your Biñho boards. You can get officially licensed Philadelphia Union board. They've got officially licensed Premier League team boards. Plus, you can create your own custom boards as well. And when you go to checkout, use code Biñho Bennett 62 at checkout to get 10% off your entire order. That's code Biñho Bennett 62 when you use our link in the description to get 10% off your entire order from our pals over at Biñho. What a show. Jacob, your thoughts on your first rodeo here at Underground?
Dude, I fucking love it. The vibes are good. The vibes are high. It's going to be a great fucking summer. And then hopefully I come back when school's still in session and still hooping. And then we have a not final podcast, but a great one November 1st when the Phillies are fucking holding up the trophy on Broad Street.
That's right. That's right.
Welcome to the pod, bud. We're gonna have a hell of a summer.
It's gonna be a
Hell
hell of
yeah.
a summer. Stay tuned for all the content. Jacob, drop the socials where the people can follow you so they know where to keep up to date with everything.
The Instagram is at J_Novick_13. The Snapchat is J_Novick1305. Any baddies hit me up. I'm single. Thank you very much. And the TikTok is 856J_.
We'll have that all linked in the description. And if the baddies want to hit the voicemail line, feel free to do so. Maybe we'll do the Jacob Novick dating show this summer.
Get the Tinder going.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI across the board. We're on every social platform. Subscribe to the pod on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. That way you can tune into every single show twice a week for this program, and then every show on our network. And of course, guys, this show is proudly presented by the city of Vineland. And whether you are a startup, whether you are looking to relocate, looking to expand, relocate, you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 746, an intern season intro edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Jacob, for Harrison, I'm KB. Jacob and I will be holding it down on Sunday, getting you set for another week of action, breaking down the rest of this Braves series, breaking down the Brewers series, Rhys Hoskins coming back to Philly, and a whole lot more, whatever comes across the desk in the sports world. But until then, we're getting the heck up out of here, and we are signing off.